Welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to focus on updating our preload scene to match the style of our game. And to do this, we'll be exploring prefabs and phaser editor and how we can use these reusable components to create our game objects. So now for our preload scene, we want to update our loading text and our progress bar to match the colors that we're using for our game. So for our progress bar text, we'll want to use the same styling that we're using for our title text and our click to start text inside our title scene. Now to do that, we could just create a new text game object and update our styling manually. However, this is becoming very repetitive and something we'll want to apply to other game objects in our scene. For example, in our level scene, we're going to add in some instructions for how the player can play our game, and so we're going to be using the same styling here as well. And so if we ever want to update the styling in our game, we now need to modify this in multiple locations in our game. Instead, a better way to do this is we can create what's called a prefab, a reusable game object in Phaser Editor, and that will allow us to apply a set of defaults that we can use as a building block for our other game objects. And so how this works is in Phaser Editor, everything that we add through our GUI is called a block, like a building block, and we stack all of these blocks together to make up our game. And so when we use things like our images, this is an image block we're adding to our level. The same thing applies when we add in things like our text game objects. Besides our built-in blocks, we can create our own reusable blocks, and these are called prefabs. And so to create a prefab in our game, there's a few different ways we can do this. One of the ways is we can take one of our existing blocks and create a prefab from it. So if I do right-click, I can go down to prefab and do create prefab with object. We can manually create a prefab from our files editor by right-clicking, doing new, and doing a new prefab file. So for our project, we want to keep everything organized. So before we create our prefab, let's make a new folder to keep our prefabs in. So under our source folder, we're going to do new folder. We're going to call this prefabs. And now, if we go into our title scene, we're going to create a prefab from one of our text game objects. So from our title text, I want to right-click. I'm going to do prefab. We'll do create prefab with object. And now Phaser Editor is going to ask where we want to store our prefab. So we'll go to our prefabs folder. And we're just going to call this game text prefab. So we'll do create. So now if we save, we'll see right away under our prefab folder, we now have a new file. If we open up our game text prefab, we're going to see our title text that we created in our title scene. What's really cool about these prefabs is now in our blocks area, we now have a new section called prefabs, and these are all of our prefabs that we created. What we can do now is in our scenes, we can drag in an instance of our block, and we can create multiple instances of our new prefab. And why this is so powerful is for each of these prefabs, we can now modify our settings directly on it. As an example, I can override our position. We can override things like our scaling, and then we can even override things like our text content. So I can change like, hi there. And then we have more control, like we can update our font size, our font family, and even our color. And now why this is so powerful is when we modify the settings on one of our instances, it does not modify the settings on our other instances. It just overrides that one instance. And now why this is cool is if we come back to our prefab, any changes we make here, when we save and we come back to our title scene, we'll see our instances of that prefab have been updated to reflect our changes we did here. The only instance that wasn't modified was the one we manually modified here. So in Phaser Editor, this lock icon, when a property is locked, is going to use the default settings from our prefab instance. When we unlock it, this allows us to override that value. With our game, this now allows us to have one text game object where we can modify things like our color, our font family, all from one location, and we don't have to manually modify all of those in our game. So now what we can do is let's clean up our instances of our prefab we dragged in. We're going to update our game text prefab. We're going to update our default text. We're just going to write placeholder so we know we need to overwrite it. So now back over our title scene, we'll need to override our placeholder text. So if we choose our game object, we'll do our text. We'll overwrite to say Soko Dungeon. And now we're going to replace our click to start text with an instance of our prefab. So let's drag in an instance of our prefab. Now we'll want to update our settings on our prefab to match our text game object here. So I'm going to copy our text. Let's override that. We'll update our font size. We'll do 24. And now we just need to update our position. It's supposed to be 320 by 384. And now let's remove our text game object. I want to copy our variable name. We'll update that here. And now if we save, if we come back to our game, oh, looks like we have an issue. So we're having an issue with loading in our prefab and our title scene. So to fix this, let's come over to our code. If we go into our title.js file, we'll see we're loading in our prefab. Oh, we're missing our file extension. So what's happening is in our current project template, we need to make sure we include our .js extension. To fix this, we'll want to go into our title scene. We're going to go into our compiler, general settings, and now we want to do import file extension. We save. Now if we come back to our code, we'll see our .js is added. Come back to our game. Now if we refresh, we'll see our title screen with our two text game objects, and it works just like we did before. Now that we've created our new game text prefab, we can use it over in our preload scene. So we jump over to our preload scene. Let's drag in an instance of our prefab. So let's update our text. We're going to change this to say loading, and we'll do ... So let's update our font size. We'll do 20 pixels. And now we'll just want to update our positioning. So for our position, we'll do 320 for our X. We'll do 208 for our Y. And now we'll just want to update our variable name to match loading text. So let's copy this. We'll delete our other game object. We'll update our game text prefab to have that variable name. Now if we save, if we come over to our browser, let's refresh. Oh, looks like we have that same issue with our extension. To fix that, we'll go into our preload scene. We'll check our box. Do save. Much better. So now when our preload scene loads, we immediately transition to our title scene once we finish loading our assets. Now if we want to test our loading scene without it going to our title scene, let's come over to our code. We'll go into our preload.js file. I'm going to comment out our line of code here where we start our title scene. And now we can test our loading scene without it transitioning. Nice. Alright, so finally, we just need to update our progress bar color to match the theme of our game. So to do that, we'll want to update our color. So I'm going to go into our loading text. I'm going to copy our color here. Now if we choose our progress bar background, we'll update our fill color. Now let's do our progress bar. We'll update our fill color here. And now we just want to update our position so it'll be centered in our game. We'll grab our two progress bar game objects. For our inspector, let's do align to border. We'll do center, and then we'll do center here. Much better. So now if we save, let's come over to our browser. We'll see our progress bar now matches the theme of our game. Alright, finally, let's add back in our code, so we'll transition to our title scene. Nice work. With our new game text prefab in place, we can now easily add text game objects to our game and reuse the same styling across our project. In our next lesson, we're going to start building our first level by using a tile map.